Hello friends, welcome back. Today we will explore one more micro niche. The speciality with this particular micro niche is this looks very common item known to most of the people, but still the date when I analyze the data, it is actually sending very positive signals to be picked up as a micro niche. Okay, let's do a deep dive of it. Before we start, I request all of you, if you are not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel and also share your valuable feedback in the comment section. Okay, so let's get started. The micro niche I'm going to talk today is vacuum cleaner. Yeah, this looks very familiar, right? So but still the data is actually giving us a very strong signals to be picked up as the micro niche. Now if you see, right, so direct the vacuum cleaner itself is actually showing keyword difficulty as 56, which is hard. But let's do further deep dive and figure out how the associated topics are looking at and other parameters. Okay, so as we normally perform, let's look at the five factor validation for this particular micro niche as well. The first one is competition. In other words, we check the difficulty, right? Okay, so vacuum cleaner itself is not looking so easy. It seems there is enough of competition, but what really attracted me is when we went ahead and did further analysis and then try to discover if there are enough of keywords associated with vacuum cleaner with low competition, in other words, which are less difficult. Okay, so let's check it out. So again, for the people who are not very familiar with these technical terms, Ahrefs is by far the best online tool to perform search engine related analysis. At least from my perspective, I use it day in day out. And here there is something called KD. So KD stands for keyword difficulty. Okay, lesser is always better. That means the competition is low. Now, typically for beginners, for new websites, I always suggest just pick the topics or keywords which are only having keyword difficulty less than or equal to 20. Okay, that means the competition is less than or equal to 20. So higher the keyword, that means it's a higher the competition. Okay, now you see here, this is what really attracted me. Now, all these the keywords associated with vacuum cleaner with the keyword difficulty less than 20, if when we did this, when we filter this, we discovered about more than 5,000 keywords are there. That's huge. Okay, so that means though as such a vacuum cleaner itself is looking very competitive, there are so many associated topics which are having low difficulty or low competition, in other words less difficulty. Okay, so which have been I strongly believe that it's been overlooked by the other marketers, because two reasons. One is from the common sense, everybody will feel that this is very common product, everybody would have already wrote enough of content about it. This is what typically one perception. Second reality is, when you just look for a vacuum cleaner, that itself is actually showing as a hard. But when you actually do a further deep dive analysis, the data is talking something else. Okay, so that means the first factor is true. There are enough keywords with less difficulty or low competition. Second parameter what we look for is search volume. Okay, so what we normally look at is how is the search volume for the keywords that we just filtered out with the difficulty less than 20. Again, for the benefit of the people who are not familiar with these technical terms, volume, if you look at the heading subheading here, right, volume stands for the number of searches happen for that particular keyword in a month. Okay, you can see here search volume represents the average monthly number of searches for the keyword. Higher is always better. Okay, now if you see here, vacuum cleaner repair about 8.8k, car vacuum cleaner 4.2k, vacuum cleaner Walmart, okay, 3.2k. This is excellent, very good search volumes. Okay, so um, second validation is also true. So one is number one, we identified a lot of keywords with low difficulty, and also their associated volumes are looking very decent. The third factor that we typically look for is scope for content. What it means is, okay, there are topics are there and there are volumes are there, but still, do we have enough topics to write content related to this particular micro niche with less volume and with less difficulty and decent volume typically? So though it is showing as a 5200 keywords, you can't write article for every keyword, because you again need a minimum search traffic for the keyword to write an article. So typically I go for a 500 for most of the micro niches, but this is, we are talking about a specific product. So even I would, 300 per month is also decent search volume to start with. Okay. So when I apply this particular filter, see here, we have about a 151 keywords with keyword difficulty less than 20 and volumes more than 300. Even if you apply a 500 volume, right? Let's see how much it comes, right? 84, not bad. So what happens is, when you actually start writing the articles, you will easily able to discover about another 20-30% of new topics. Okay, so that means, with difficulty less than 20 and search volume is about 500, you will be able to still identify about 100 topics to write the content associated with this particular micro niche. So for one topic, one particular product associated to that, at least the nature of the product, if you are able to write about 100 pieces of content, that is really, really awesome. Okay. So that means there is enough scope to write the content. Okay. Why I look for 100 is, again, uh, as I normally analyze all my other micro niches, for the success of any particular website, I strongly believe more or less you should plan about 100 articles. If you are struggling to write content after 20 or 30 articles, then that's the wrong micro niche to be picked up. Okay, so that's one more factor we should consider before selecting a micro niche. Done. Now the fourth one, the most important, okay, reference site. Here is where the most of the micro niches fail. Everything looks good, but no one would be doing well related to that particular micro niche. Let's validate it. Okay, what I normally do is I pick up a lot of these keywords and then keep looking for the websites which are ranking well. Then I always look for a relatively new website, if there is any relatively new website ranking well for these particular keywords. That's basically a signal that if we start a website today, we can still do well. That's a signal. Okay, so let's analyze. So when I did lot of analysis, finally I discovered one website. Look at this. So bestvacuumguide.org. If you look at the site design, also very normal, very plain. There is no any huge design and all that is there. Very simple website. Anybody can actually easily create this kind of website using WordPress. Now look at the data related to this particular website. Let's get into hrefs, and here you go. See the data. So the one parameter that I always focus when I analyze any of the website is DR. Again, for the people who are not very familiar with the technical terms, for them DR stands for domain ranking or domain rating. Okay, and this is also called as basically DA, domain authority also. What it means is, lesser DR is basically less established in the search world. For example, simply to give an example, if you start a website tomorrow, your DR will be 0. Okay, if you registered a fresh website. For example, if you see a Facebook's DR today, it will be 100. Okay, clear, right? The scale will be from 0 to 100. The fresh, very brand new website will have a DR 0, and as well established authenticated branded site will have about near to 100. Okay, now if you analyze this particular, when you are analyzing these keywords, if you find any of the websites which higher DR, then you shouldn't get tempted for that particular micro niche, because higher DR sites will anyway rank well, because they are already established, they are already branded sites. You cannot compete or you cannot compare a new site with that. That's why I always look for a reference site which has a dr less, low dr. That means even if we start tomorrow with a dr 0, we have a probability of to basically go, and we have a chance to rank well for that particular micro niche. Typically I look for a dr less than 10, but this is only one product. And then uh, when I was doing a lot of analysis, right, this site looked very decent. So 18 is not extremely difficult and all that. So when you start the site, it will be 0, but you do a decent digital marketing with the site, decent on page basic SEOs and all that, you will be able to easily reach about a 10. And then I think if you can acquire very few links, you will be able to easily go up to 18 to 20. Okay, I don't say it is basically uh, just will happen and when you start the site, but this is very much achievable for a new site as well. Now let's look at the other attributes, how it is looking at. um, One is dr, what we normally see, look when we analyze a website, it should be low. And then the number two, second parameter or second data point that we normally look for is organic keywords. That means for how many keywords this particular website is actually ranking organically, naturally. See, sorry, this is mind blowing. Nearly about a 20k keywords are ranking in for this particular website, for this kind of single product website. And with low dr, this particular this volume is really mind blowing. Okay, and in a month on an average, this particular website attracts about, this organic traffic is nothing but what is on an average how many visitors come to this particular website organically without going for any paid campaign, is up nearly 14k. Both these attributes are really looking very attractive. And our fourth validation also, there is a proof that even with low dr, a site can perform well if you can invest on writing a good high quality content. And last factor that we validate is earning potential. Okay, let's look at it. What it means is, um, at the end of days, you create all these websites and all to earn some money, to make some money, right? So I normally validate this particular factor in two different perspectives. One is I look for something called CPC. Again, for the people who are not familiar with this, CPC stands for cost per click. Okay, higher is always better. Now look at the CPC for the keywords that we filtered. $2.5, about $1, 2.5, 1, 3.5, 1.7. So on an average, it is about a $2, which is good. Okay, not exceptional, but not this is above. This is good actually. Okay, and the second perspective, how I typically validate, is very important. That's the main one. I look at the valuation or of this particular website that we just discovered with low domain authority, right? Now, if you see here, there is a field called traffic value. What it conveys is, traffic value is nothing but estimated money this particular website can earn on an average per month if you properly monetize. Okay, that's the catch here. So there will be a lot of, I think, conditions here. So you need to optimally monetize the site. Then this site has a potential to earn about 14.3k US dollars per month. Okay, that is very attractive, right? So but I normally, what I suggest is, uh, take very conservative approach, go by only 10% of it. Still it looks about a $1,430, which is a decent money. Okay, if you start a website on this particular micro niche and can pick up appropriate topics, and then you need to compile a very superior high quality content, publish it, and then have some patience, do little digital marketing, and this has an excellent opportunity and potential to earn about a 1430k to 1430 US dollars per month very easily. That's what it concludes. Okay, so that means our fifth validation is also true, right? So it has passed all the validations. We verified that there are quite a number of keywords with low competition, and there is a very good search volume of all those, basically the keywords with low competition. And then we also checked the scope for content by filtering, applying another filter called volume. And then we have seen already the reference site with low DR but doing performing exceptionally well. And then finally we also verified earning potential. So one additional input that I want to give here is for this particular micro niche, because the vacuum cleaner itself is actually very commonly used product or word. There are a few things that if you observe, right, car vacuum cleaner, the keyword difficulty is so low, 4. That means though it's been commonly used in the United States, but I don't think there are so many marketers who paid a lot of attention towards this product. This is where you need to basically capitalize. Next, if you look at hand vacuum cleaner, okay, then you look at basically the small vacuum cleaners, steam vacuum cleaners, mini vacuum cleaners, okay. So typically only people must have been looking for a vacuum cleaners, but when you actually add all these additional words to that, then the volumes are decent. That means a lot of people are searching for it, but the competition is pretty low. And then if you go one step above, which are not basically listed down here, for example, you want a let's look at basically one small vacuum cleaner, or you add something vacuum, what it is, the car vacuum cleaner, probably mini car vacuum cleaner, okay, something like that, or USB car vacuum cleaner, right? Car vacuum cleaner is a separate one, then USB is separate one. Then you, if you can keep adding some of these combinations, right, then even the competition will go pretty low, and you will be able to discover a lot more keywords related to this particular micro niche. Okay, considering all these aspects, this look to be very very attractive. And I'm sure, I think a lot of people must have been searching and looking for these products online. If you are thinking about starting a new website or blog, and searching for a good profitable micro niche, I think this is one of the best candidates for you to pick it up. Okay, so go ahead and start. So that's all for today. I once again request all of you, if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe to the channel, and also please share your valuable feedback in the comment section.